everybody, today we are back on the Raleigh Grand Mesa project. I have pulled together all the parts we're going to need and discovered some new things that we're going to have to work through. But first we're just going to get started with all the new parts and the rebuilding of the rear hub. So these are the original brakes, which we're going to keep with. This was the rear derailleur, a Suntour U short cage. We're going to replace that with a Suntour 7 GT, which has the long GT cage, so we can run a bigger cassette. Some Suntour thummies to go with it. Hope that this derailleur, which I believe in friction mode, should have no problem shifting this 1134 9-speed cassette. These are the brake levers we took off, end caps. Found some ESI grips we're probably going to put on. Here's the hub with the too long of axle. I've found an axle that is the right length. So we're going to slot that into this hub first. That way we can get the tire mounted and we can get this rear wheel and the derailleur onto the back of the bike. And then our goal is these are a little rusty, so we're going to need to clean these up so we can get those mounted and the brake levers mounted. Then we can get the grips mounted, and the drivetrain will be near done. Take this old axle off so we can put in the new shorter axle. Been doing some measuring. We're going to need this thinnest washer. First thing we're going to do is going to get this new axle prepped and ready to go. So you can see it's significantly shorter, but that is the length we need. But we need to get these off this one. I'm gonna clamp that in there so we can get this. There we go. Yeah, the threads on the ends of the axles always can get kind of goofed up, so you just gotta get the nuts past them. So now we've got all the parts removed off the old axle. So we're going to start prepping the new axle. Don't mind the daisy here. We're going to put the cup in. We're going to put in one washer to start. And then thread on a nut. And we're going to set this up. So the length that's sticking out, we want so that it doesn't stick past the dropout. Obviously it's going to be coming in on this side, but same deal. So that way the quick release can clamp correctly. So that's how much axle we want. We're going to tighten the cup onto that nut. And so that is that side done. I'm going to put a little bit more grease in this hub. Just apply some on there. There we are. So now we have to build that side of the axle. There we go. Hub spacing, corrective, the new axle. Now we're going to put the new tire on. Before we put the new wheel on, we have to get the new derailleur cleaned and ready to go on. So we gotta take this old cable off. Not a 9. Just pulled this off a bike in the junkyard. It's kind of nice having a bike graveyard at the shop because I can normally always find what I'm looking for. So now we just need to give this a bath. So there we are. The derailleur's clean, so let's just get ready to install that. Okay, now we're gonna get this derailleur installed. Slide that on there. Tighten it up. The derailleur is on. Now we are gonna put our tire on our rim. We're gonna get the wheel in there and see where we go. Before we put the tire on, I realized I had removed the tire from the old rear wheel already. So I'm gonna put the cassette on here, and then we're gonna weigh this tireless versus the other rear wheel, just so again we can see how much weight we're saving. So we're gonna use a 9-speed cassette because that fits on our free hub body. 1134, so should be a nice range for out there cruising the gravel and the bike trails. I expect we're gonna have more than 13 ounces of savings. The difference feels more than it was on the front. 2.31 kilograms, 5 pounds 2 ounces for a rear wheel without a tire on it. Those old steel wheels, they're not light. And now we'll do our new wheel. 1.57 kilograms, 3 pounds 8 ounces. So just shy of 2 pounds lighter. So that's for sure helping us on our quest to shed some pounds. Okay, so we have the rear wheel in, but slight dilemma. We are super, super close. Touching on this side. That's pretty much touching to touching. So that's a little bit of a bummer. I am gonna bolt the brake on just so we can look at the clearance of the brake so that we make sure we don't have any issues there. I don't think we will. These brakes are pretty big, but just to make sure we don't have any other issues. Oh yeah, the brake is not going to be an issue at all. Okay, so just a little bit of tire issue. While pondering what to do about the rear tire, we're going to get the brakes cleaned and new pads put on so we can get these back installed. Yeah, so we'll have new Jaguar pads. Should really upgrade our braking from these old hard pads. I bought some brakes I wanted to use, some Velo orange brakes, but I thought I had calculated that the reach was going to be long enough, but they were not long enough. So we're just going to run these brakes. The spring is nice and tight still on these, and with the new pads, I think braking won't be an issue. There we go. Brakes are set up. Let's go install the front. Okay, we got the brake levers on. I just have the shifter mounts on. We're gonna slide the grips on so we can kind of get everything lined up where it's supposed to go. Decided just to go with, again, my favorite, the ESI Chunkies in black. I think it just will look good, and there's some nice grip. A little bit of rubbing alcohol. Prep our surface. Getting it started is the hardest part. We just look at that, and we're to the end right there. I kept these vintage screw-on bar ends because I thought they were cool and they'll look perfect with these grips. Could maybe have done the extra longs because we have so much bar. That would give more hand positions, but I think these look good. Nice big long brake lever is good too. So I'll put the other one on the other side, and the cockpit will almost be ready. Then we'll just get everything kind of set. We'll put the bike, even though the tire's too big, we'll put the bike on the ground. We'll get the levers set where they're supposed to go. So next we'll be getting this where we want it to be and tightening up the clamp bolt. And then see, there's a unforeseen issue. The screw on the brake gets in the way. So we're going to tilt this down a little bit more. Oh. Oh. So how far? Okay, so we're working on just figuring out the brake lever and shifter placements. Did some tinkering. Think I found a setup that's gonna work the way I would like it to. Let me just see how we hit that bolt there. So we're a little angled on the shifter, but I think that'll still be pretty comfy with the thumb. Obviously we won't know until we go for a spin, but we're gonna try that to start with. I tried to solve this tire issue. I had some Teravail Cannonballs, which I actually had ordered for this project to begin with. They're 650 by 40. I've put them on. I knew they would fit because the old tires were 40. We have adequate clearance. They are significantly smaller than the 48s, obviously. Almost a centimeter smaller. Disappointed the 48s didn't fit. So yeah, we're gonna run Teravail Cannonballs, 650 by 40s. It's still gonna be good. And so yeah, got the rear switched. I'm gonna switch over the front, get a skewer to put in the rear again, just for now. We do also have to use this seat post. I wanted to replace it because it's steel, but it's 25 mil, 25.0. Very odd size, didn't have anything else. So we're just gonna run with this. So that's where we are now. Next big project is just to put in a bottom bracket and figure out what crank we wanted to use. We're going to install this Shimano A410. So I'm not exactly sure what model that would have been, but it's a 2x. It's going to be 4636, which I think will be some good gearing for this kind of gravel machine. Got some nice Arundel cages. I think they are vintage looking, so they're going to look good on the build. just a 9-speed chain. So we're gonna get that crack in. First up, get a bottom bracket installed, get the crank set in, get the chain on. The screw hold, the rivet. If we look in there, there's a rivet holding the cable guide on, and it sticks out too far, so the bottom bracket has to go in. We're just gonna grind that down a little bit. Okay, let's grind away on this thing. Okay, we've now got that short enough that our bottom rack slides in. So we just need to clean out those threads. We'll be back in business. Okay, now we got that rivet taken care of. There we go. So to get those threads lined up right. We're going to thread this side all the way in, and then we're going to try our crank arm to see if I guessed right on clearance. Ooh. I think we did perfect. That was a 113. With these cool gray crank bolts that are going to look good. I thread that on. Plenty of space for the crank arm. And for the chain rings, we're not bottoming out anywhere, so we're going to put the other cup in and the other arm on. But there we go. Okay, crank set is installed. It looks good. It's going to be a nice gear range. We're going to use this from Teravail, Sun Tour. Just going to clamp that on. So, with this from Teravail, that's probably where we want it. We'll start there. Okay, now the front derailleur is installed. We can install our chain, which I already have ready to go. Chain is installed. Now we're gonna just start to cable the bike. You gotta do both shifters, derailleurs, and the brakes. Throw a saddle on, some pedals, and then we get to weigh it and see how much weight we shaved off. So we ran into an interesting little problem. If you see here, this cable stop got a little flattened on the bottom, and so the housing won't fit in, the ferrule won't fit in. We're gonna take a punch and we're just gonna put it in there and just kind of bend a little bit down. We're back. GoPro died, but we are back. So we put the punch in there, bent it a little bit, and now our ferrule fits. So we are back to cabling the front derailleur. Here's the question. Do we think that leather saddle would go good with this? Now it doesn't match the leather shoulder strap or really anything else on the bike, but it does look vintage. We're gonna put it on and we'll take it outside and look at it. But this and pedals are the final touch. And a little bit of one more final wipe down with a clean rag. And I got both Rundle bottle cages on. I really like these cages. They look really good with this style of bike. There is no other cage. There's no cage on the seat tube because of the shoulder strap, but we put two on because there's one for underneath, so you still be able to rock two bottle cages. Yeah, we're gonna try this saddle and see how it looks. I'm growing on that brown saddle. We'll see how it looks outside, and I'm just gonna throw these black pedals on because these race face rides are nice pedals. Okay, here's the moment. Did we get below 30 pounds? So our old weight was 33 pounds, 12 ounces. My goal was to get below 30. So let's put her up on the scale. £29, 7 ounces. So we shaved 4 pounds, 5 ounces. 4 pounds and 5 ounces. That is awesome. I knew it. I was really worried at first, but that, you know, sub 30 wasn't possible. But 29 pounds, 7 ounces. This thing's ready to go. It's ready to go on a century. Well, that is too cool. So in kilograms, that is 13.24 kilograms. Well, I'm gonna go give this thing a little test ride, take some photos quick, but that is the end of the Raleigh build. Thanks again for checking out this video. This has been really fun for me, turning this old, entry-level Grand Mesa into, a Restomod of sorts. It's a lot of 90s parts, so it's not modern parts, but a decade newer. And it's gonna be a great bike for rails to trails, and paved trails, and gravel roads, and just bombing around town. So really looking forward to this one finding a home. If you like this video, please like and subscribe for a ton of other great vintage bike content. And check out our website, Gringineer Cycles, at gringineer.com for tons of vintage bike parts and frames. We also have a lot of catalogs up for research purposes. And have a great rest of your day. Bye.